WAOH is brought to you in part by Ohio's #1 trusted real estate team, The Young Team. Online at theyoungteam.com.
Today I get to talk with Patrick Kerns. He is the Executive Director of Resource Cleveland. Patrick, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad you could come on the show to talk about You Mean the World Cleveland.
Yes.
It's a campaign that you guys are doing.
Yes.
So go ahead and let's back up just slightly. Share a little bit about Resource Cleveland first.
Sure. So we are a Cleveland, kind of Cuyahoga County-based nonprofit organization that works with newcomers. Newcomers right now from about 20 different countries.
Okay.
And we specialize in youth services and urban farming, which is quite a combination.
Cool.
But we have programming that works with teenagers, young adults, all the way through their education goals and beyond.
I love that it's a little bit unique and different than what I usually hear about. Can you expand on that a little bit more? How do you work with them on urban farming?
Sure. So the urban farm we run is Ohio City Farm, and that runs as a business model. So that's slightly different from our youth work. We hire newcomers to work for us. It is a self-sustaining local business that has
Cool.
300 CSA members. That's how it's powered. And we just opened a brand new facility called the Roundstone Pavilion on the Ohio City Farm.
That's amazing.
Commercial kitchen, new products, market hall, the whole thing.
Wow, that's really cool. So what about the youth work? What are you doing there?
So youth, we start at 4th grade and we go all the way through their post-secondary completion and into careers. So it is a long pathway. It's about 10 years of programs back to back. Doesn't mean everybody does the whole 10 years, but a lot of structured programming, working with our school districts, working with some of the private schools in the area. And then we have wraparound services. So we do our Corner 65 program, does sports, wellness, skiing, snowboarding, basketball, you name it, we do it.
Awesome.
Newcomer Navigators, which provides family wraparound support services. And then we launched a driving school just recently too.
Those are all really cool. I love that there's like a lot of fun, but then there's also things that they need.
Things they
need,
yes.
The driving school is so important.
You need to have a license to drive, people. So
yes. And especially in this area, I was literally just chatting with someone about that, about how in this area, you know, we don't have as much public transportation. There is some.
It's difficult.
But it's harder.
It's
and you
difficult.
do need to be able to drive if you can. So.
Yeah.
Wonderful resources that you guys have. So then you started this You Mean the World CLE campaign. Share with me a little bit more about that.
Sure. It is a collection of folks, right? So it is non-labeled. It is non-branded. It is just a campaign called You Mean the World. And it was a group of us who came together from the nonprofit industry, from the newcomer sector, and from the religious community that basically wanted to tell a different story.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of advertisements in the last year on the TV that people saw that were very, very negative about immigration.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it had an impact. It changed how people looked at things. And, you know, we got together and we were talking, and, you know, the overwhelming fact was that this story doesn't fit any of the experiences that we see living with newcomers, working with newcomers, you know, supporting them. In my case, I married a newcomer, so it doesn't fit this reality that we live on a daily basis. So what's a way to tell a different story?
Yeah.
And we're so fortunate in this area that, I mean, there's a long storied history of immigration in Cleveland. It's why neighborhoods are called the way they are in Cleveland.
Absolutely. And here in Akron as well. I mean, we have neighborhoods that are primarily immigrants. We have North Hill right here that has primarily immigrants and refugees.
Yeah, it's a big Bhutanese Nepali community.
Exactly.
Yeah, great gardens they run up there.
I didn't want to botch the name.
No.
For reminding me.
Yeah. It's a really thriving community.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And so this, you know, and that's the one thing that, you know, we were talking about with this campaign is like, how do we tell this story that's simple, right? That's true. And what we did is we focused on 22 individuals from a wide variety of backgrounds, right?
Okay.
This covers people who arrive from conflict-displaced countries or people that arrive from Canada. So it is a broad range of people that are doing all kinds of jobs and services in our society and in our economy, and saying, here's the real face of immigration. They're the people who are defending you in court. They're your doctors. They're the people teaching your kids at the public schools and beyond.
Yeah, and telling people's stories is just so important.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing here, because it does change the narrative. It does help people to see things in a new light.
Yeah, that's
if
right.
they are, if maybe they're only seeing one part of the narrative over here.
That's right.
So, I think what you're doing is really important, to be able to just share stories, to be able to share faces of different individuals, and just help people to be able to see things a little bit in a new way.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. That's right. And, we initially wanted to buy all of Tim Misny's billboards across the region
Because
and
he has
focus
so
on this
many.
campaign. Yeah, and they're so effective, right? It was like,
Right.
that'd be a great idea, and we started with that conversation of what is something that can cut through, right? And, where we're at right now is video and social media, but we want to see how this can live further on too.
Absolutely.
So Tim Misny, if you're watching and you want to donate your billboards
You
for a
want to
month,
donate some billboards?
Call this
guys are
guy.
looking for it. I love that. That's amazing. So how can someone get involved? What can they do to kind of
Absolutely.
help you guys push this forward?
So very simple. Go to the website, www.youmeantheworld.com. Very simple.
Love it.
You can go there, watch the videos, you can join the campaign. Once you join the campaign, you can get access immediately to all the digital assets.
Okay.
All we're asking right now is that you share these through your networks, you share the story. And, within the first week, we saw hundreds and thousands of shares of these posts go out, right? In our community, it started with small numbers, and then we saw it pick up to the thousands. It's really getting traction. Like literally before I sat down for the interview, I checked my LinkedIn and I saw other people who I'm not connected to sharing this content on their pages.
And that's what we want.
That's what we want. And again, this is not a big ask, right?
Yeah.
We're not here to raise funding for this. We're not here to do anything else other than start to change the way we talk about immigration in our region.
And I would assume that's the why too. I was
That
just
is the
going to
why.
say, what is behind this? Why is this important?
That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
The negative advertisements did real harm, right? They did harm to people that, we work with, people that are in our organization. And again, it's not based on the real story of immigration. And so the why is let's reset.
Yeah.
Let's find a time right now where we can reset this conversation, where we can get back to a common sense dialogue around the benefits of immigration in our region.
Yeah, and immigration, I know this is controversial, sorry, but it doesn't have to be partisan,
No,
can be...
It never was.
Yeah.
It never was before.
It never has been before this time. That's so true. I mean, I have this beautiful book, out of many, one that George Bush put out of these paintings of immigrants. I'm sure you've seen it before. And so it doesn't have to be this issue that is so, polarized by both sides. And so I hope that we can, with things like this, come back together, see how we're all humans.
That's right. I mean, my
Here.
great-grandfather came over as a teenager, and he worked on the railroads across Tennessee. And then they built a life for themselves, and that's why I'm able to be here, and live the life I'm able to. And that is immigration. It is the same story.
And most people have that story, right? We are a young country. So my great grandmother did the same thing from Slovakia. And so it's just very important that we see each other's stories. I appreciate what you guys are doing. We will have people share. So the website you shared with us, share the social media as well.
So social media, mostly, actually almost exclusively on Instagram, which is where we are home based, which is You Mean the World, CLE.
Great.
Just search for it there. You can find it, follow that. And again.
And share.
That it is not a hard ask, right? We have a lot of hard asks working in nonprofits.
Yes.
This is not one of them.
This
is not one of them.
I love that. So you guys, all you have to do is go on there, go on the website, get the materials, share, go on Instagram, share with your friends, and just spread these beautiful stories of immigrants, of newcomers, and share with your friends. That's all we're asking. Yes.
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much for being here today.
Sarah.
Appreciate having you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We had a great morning on Good Morning Akron. Make sure you stay tuned. We've got more great stuff coming up next.